Well, so much for picking cotton for a while. Let's go cut some beans.
Day 3 of cotton harvest, and it is not because it rained and it's cold. It went from a balmy 79 to 46. So Nate and I are moving all this equipment. We're gonna take the loader tractor and module 1 to the farm that we're going to next on Thursday. We're gonna unhook the big tractor and hook it up to the grain buggy. And this tractor I'm in, the bull buggy tractor, we're going to hook it up to the drill. So we're going to go plant, or not plant, we are going to go get soybeans for the next 2 days, 2.5 days. Today is Monday. We're getting everything moved and hooked up, unhooked, and then Tuesday and Wednesday we're going to cut soybeans, and Thursday we'll go back to cotton, moving stuff all day long. Hi, Drake. Hi, honeys. Yeah, you like to follow us, huh? Yeah, so that's update from us on this.
Ooh, some dusty stuff. All right, here's the cover crop blend that we're planting behind our double crop beans, going to go into corn next year. Got 10 pounds of cereal rye, 10 pounds of oats, 4 pounds of annual ryegrass, 10 pounds of crimson clover, 6 pounds of vetch, 8 pounds of winter peas, 2 pounds of lentils, and 1 pound of rape. All right, go ahead. All right, get the drill calibrated. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. Yes, we are on combine. Yes, we are cutting beans. No, we are not picking cotton today. Several reasons for that. Saturday, we got close to wrapped up with what we had got defoliated and ready the very first time. And because we've had an abnormally cool October, our defoliants just are not working very quick. Instead of taking about 14 days for the cotton to be ready, it's taking 17 to 20 days for the cotton to get ready. So we've only got about maybe 3/4 a day of kicking before we're called up to some cotton that's not completely opened up. And we got some rain 2 days ago on Sunday, and these beans will dry out a little bit quicker than the cotton. So I figured we just quickly go ahead and change gears, get some of these double crop beans knocked out while our cotton is drying out. And then what we defoliated next is open up a little bit more, and try and make a few more dollars per acre, maximize what we can get out of the cotton crop. Plus, we got 120 acres up here in the city limits of Jackson of double crop beans that my pilot that I used to aerial seed my cover crops would not fly just because there's so many houses and subdivisions around here. After talking with him, I found out that in order for him to be able to legally fly on this, it's a lot of extra reporting and flight plans. He's got a file with the FAA. Plus, you got all these folks out here with cell phones and cameras, and it's real easy for one of those people not to like to see a crop duster in the area, even though all he's doing is spreading seed. Take a picture of them and report him to the FAA or whatever other agency handles that kind of stuff, and it creates a bunch of headache it just creates a bunch of needless headache for the pilot, so he didn't want to spread it. So I'm contracted with the NRCS to plant cover crops on these farms, so the only thing I can do is drill them. The drone pilots that I used to spray earlier, not quite set up to be able to spread cover crop seed themselves. I thought that might be an option, but the only option we got is to drill it, and we'll get a lot better performance out of our cover crops, a lot more biomass by getting them planted here in around mid-October versus the 2nd or 3rd week of November. So I thought it'd be a smart decision just to go ahead and get this 120 acres of double crop beans knocked out, get the cover crops planted, and then hopefully by the time we get this done, our cotton will be opened up and we can blow and go on it until we get done picking cotton. That's the hope anyway. I was also a little anxious to see what my double crop beans were going to yield. After doing the crop tour, I had some pretty high hopes for them, and right here, right now, it's yielding 60 bushels per acre right here in this pot. So overall, they're doing really well. We actually got started late yesterday evening just to get enough cut to where we can get the drill calibrated. And around the edges is crap. We do that. All the trees sucked all the moisture out of the ground. A lot of the beans died, and what survived not yielded very much around the edges. You get 60, 70 feet away from the edge of the field, we got some pretty stout yield. They're actually beating my full season beans. Also, not to mention getting, you know, about 23, 24% of our double crop acres knocked out here in October when the days are longer. We can run a little bit longer per day. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. But once we get in November, one of those days have gotten short, you might be able to start by around noon, and then the sun setting right there close to, you know, right after 5 o'clock. You know, at most you're probably only going to get about 6 hours of cutting per day, and of those 6 hours, you know, maybe only 4 to 5 is good cutting weather. All right, we got Carter going on the drill there. He did a little bit of drilling for me after corn, but I already had the field laid off and had his guidance line already set. So he did that well. So now we give him a chance to you know, plant whole fields.
All right, welcome to double crop soybeans. Just got the first truck. Fire everything up, hope that she's running right. It's been a while, a couple weeks since we've been to the bins, but since it rained, this is what we're doing. Lately, so that's probably why it's so freaking hard to get open. But gotta be careful because these are wet, and I don't want to clog the loop. Oh yeah, they're wet. We're gonna back off of it a little bit. You have to sit and wait. As you can tell, it went from 80 to 43. Awesome. Cold. And it's a north wind, but there's no humidity. It's beautiful. It's just cold. So putting everything into 2. 4 has corn, empty, 1 and 3.
What are these beans running at moisture-wise? They seem very wet.
Well, the ones last night was wet because they was around the edge and still a bunch of green places. This load should be quite a bit drier, even though they're still above 13% moisture.
Like, there's so much junk in this stuff, like these furs. The whole truck was full of furs.
Yeah, because of the drought, chemicals not getting activated around the edges is pretty dang weedy, especially cuckleburs and stuff. But I wasn't about to spend another $10 an acre to clean them up. Anyway, we just about done with this farm, and it's like you heard Kelly complain about trash and sample. I'm trying to do some adjusting some settings on my combines to get it cleaned up, but you know, because of the drought around the edges of the fields is pretty dang weedy, and then all that August rain we got just really made those weeds take off. But with Roundup being so dang expensive, I didn't want to come in here and spot spray, so we'll just have to live with it. Out in the middle of the field, they're really nice and clean, but it's where we got thin stands around the edges here. Plus still got a little bit of some green places too, where the beans are just not quite ready, raising the moisture up. But we just got a killing frost last night. Got down, I think, 28, 29 degrees, something like that. See, all those weeds done started turning black. That definitely put the finishing touches on the crop for this year. And when we come back after picking cotton, all this stuff's gonna be real easy to cut. I'm not gonna waste a beautiful mid-October day harvesting just because there's a few places in the fields that's still a little green though. Speaking of October soybeans though, we got a few problems in our area. Don't know if you've seen reports, but the Mississippi River is extremely low. It's not at record low yet, but it's not far away. Just this drought has really dried up a lot of the Mississippi River, and you know, freight is already unreasonable just due to a lack of barges, you know, really high diesel fuel costs, and now throw in the drought and the low Mississippi River. These granaries are only able to load barges about 2/3 of the way up, because if they load them anymore, the barges will sink farther in the river and run the risk of running aground, just because the river is not deep right now, which is just serving to make the problem of getting all this stuff transported up and down the river a huge problem. You know, a lot of crop, especially like soybeans here in West Tennessee, it eventually finds its way over to the Mississippi River and you know, gets transported down to New Orleans to where it's exported. And now, because it's getting so hard to move freight up and down the Mississippi River, these granaries are not wanting the beans right now. The basis has really widened out to account for the high transport costs and the fact that they don't want it. And when granaries do get a barge in, you know, it's quickly filled up by the people, you know, trying to deliver. So that's created some really, really long lines at the river terminals. It made it a big problem for folks, you know, getting their trucks unloaded and getting their crop harvested quickly. You know, we don't have to deal with that problem because we've got plenty of storage capacity for all of our crop. And that's how we can get by with just running one truck with a combine like this, you know, because all we got to do is, you know, make it at most about 8 miles down the road, dumping our bin, and we'll be right back. We're not having to spend 3, 4, 5 hours in line to get dumped. And because of the drought that we had this year, you know, we're not going to need anywhere close to all of our storage capacity. You know, we only used 1 bin basically for our corn, whereas normally we use 2 or potentially 3. And because of that, a few days ago, I posted on Facebook that, hey, I've got 2 bins that I'm not using. You know, if anybody wants to rent them out, you know, go ahead and get your crop out of the field, and then deal with the elevator situation later on once your crop's out of the field. You know, I was going to cut them a good rate. I think I was going to charge them 17 cents a bushel, which covers all costs, including electricity, and hoping just to help some other farmers out that are having to deal with these long lines and don't have any kind of storage available. But surprisingly, nobody's taken me up on that offer yet. I know if I didn't have storage and having a real hard time getting my trucks unloaded, I would have jumped all over that. For whatever reason, I just think a lot of farmers in this area that don't have storage, used to hauling to the river, you know, it just doesn't appeal to them to have to handle the grain multiple times. You know, once during harvest, putting it in the bins, and then after harvest, you know, you gotta come out and gotta load the trucks again. You know, you gotta sweep a bin and all that. But for the money difference in what the basis is now compared to what it would be in, say, January, you'll make that 17 cents back probably 3 to 4 times over. Not to mention, you know, lowering your labor costs, you know, not having to pay an employee to sit in line at the river just waiting to get unloaded. Hopefully some farmer will take me up on that offer. You know, I'll be able to help somebody else out, and then on the same hand, you know, I'd be able to make a little bit of profit on that. You know, maybe help pay for some repair and maintenance costs for the bins, you know, pay down some of my bank note on the one bin I still owe on. It'd be a win-win situation for both parties. Just have to wait and see. All right, done with that farm. About to drop the header here on the header trailer, but I want to give you a quick look at what our early planted cover crops look like, especially since we just got our first heavy frost last night that's going to terminate the buckwheat in the mix. Nice and green out here. Boy, it's looking good. Anyway, cereal rye is nice and thick. Of course, we got an awesome stand on our cover crops because there really wasn't a whole lot of residue to plant through like we normally have. So we was able to get pretty much every dang seed in the ground and get it germinated. Our cereal rye here, this kind of thinner bladed grass is annual ryegrass. Got a radish right here. They're growing, but you know, hopefully those tubers start getting a lot bigger here real soon. Got some rape here. Got some crimson clover coming up. I'm looking around right now, but I'm not seeing any buckwheat. I know it was in the blend, and we've got it good on other farms, but I'm not seeing a single plant of buckwheat out here. I don't know what happened. It was a lot drier when we planted this over here than it was back home where we got good buckwheat. I don't think that really would have had anything to do with it without affecting the other stuff we got out here. But anyways, we got our soil protected for the winter. This stuff looks really good. Hopefully we'll get some good biomass on the radishes, but the really dry September and first half of October that we had just didn't get the growth on them that like I thought they would. And then of course we got you know, cooler than normal temperatures now, which will slow down the growth of the radishes. So I doubt we're going to get those massive radishes this year, but hopefully they'll get some bigger size than what they normally do. All right, let's get this thing dropped and get on down the road to the next farm.
I love farming in the city. So much fun. When you have to get a semi-truck out and there's this little like thing right there, and then they redid the road. So you get people who just blow through the stop sign. And I think I'm just gonna make a beeline this way and pray for the best. I really don't know. Yeah, fun times. We're moving to these little tiny fields, and then we're gonna move to another big one, and you can see across the street that the cotton is still not ready. So another day and a half of beans and maybe it'll start opening up.
So there's some of our cotton over there. It's been defoliated a while. I mean, you can see a lot of white, but if you look towards the top, you can see a whole lot of brown up there. That's a lot of bulbs that haven't quite opened up yet. It's made quite a few progress in the last couple days though, so hopefully give it a few more days, we'll be ready to get back picking some cotton. In the meantime, we'll get some of these good double crop beans out. See that? Woo! 70 bushels an acre for some double crop, man. That is fantastic. And it's let's just say an average price of $14 a bushel. I might, just might, be able to go look at some trucks this winter. I know I'm about due for some. Woo! There's a slug there. Frost hadn't quite killed these beans off good yet. But speaking of frost, I am a little concerned about some of those uppermost bolls on the cotton there. You know, not only did we get a heavy frost last night, we actually got a freeze. And a freeze on a cotton boll that's not getting ready to open is death on it. There's no way that you're ever going to get it open if it hadn't started the opening process by the time it gets frozen. I mean, it's done for. And because of the anticipated freeze, we had to put our defoliants on a few days earlier than what we wanted to. We put on our second batch of defoliant on that on Thursday. And today is Tuesday. We got a freeze last night. Hopefully that Ethifine had enough time to start working on those bowls to where it went ahead and started the opening process. And, you know, and those bowls will go ahead and open up. If they don't, there's going to be a lot of lost yield potential out there. I still think the cotton will do good, but it won't do anything like what we thought it would. So the only thing we can do is just wait and see, hope and pray for the best. You know, the last probably 10 years or so, we haven't even really seen much of a frost, maybe a light frost in October. Usually it's on the very end of October, first part of November when we start seeing the heavy frost. And then, you know, we don't actually see a freeze until later on into November, which, you know, generally gives you plenty of time to get the cotton matured out, get it defoliated and opened up before that kind of weather hits in. But tell you what, this has been a screwy oddball year weather-wise, you know, with the drought. Then we get rain in August. Then we have more drought in September and October. Blazing hot temperatures all through June and July and August. And then abnormally cool temperatures late September, early October. This has just been a year where you just throw normal out the window and you go with the flow as best you can and hope and pray you make the right decisions, the right calls. I know one thing for a fact though, we need those bowls to open up. You know, we're looking at around $1 per pound of cotton. Just say that field over there is, let's just say it's 1,500 pounds. I bet right now maybe only about 2/3 of it is open up, so say 1,000 pounds. So we lost, if nothing else opens up out there, no, we've lost 500 pounds an acre. We've lost $500 an acre and lost potential profit. Now I do know for a fact that more of it will open, and I don't know what it's going to yield. That's just guessing off the top of my head. But what I do know is all the cotton we defoliated long before the freeze, you know, it's taken a long time to open up and been hard to get it open this year. And then this freeze is not going to make things any easier on our later defoliated cotton, that's for dang sure.
All right, back at the bins for a third time, but this should be real interesting because we got some very green beans, baby. So we have regular beans, green beans. So I'm gonna have to dump these very, very slowly. just a huge variety here on Griggs Farm. So I'm having problems with the green stuff, so I'm having to dump drier stuff because this stuff is just disgusting. So I figure I'm gonna try and blend it. Heck, it looks like silage, for crying out loud. So I'm gonna try and blend it a little bit with the drier stuff in the front, and hopefully we can get the loop system not to kind of overload it. It was starting to go up to 60 with it dripping, so I figured, well, let's go ahead and just blend it. So I might actually have to get in there. That is disgusting. But those beans were planted like probably couple weeks after we planted all the rest of these other beans, so we like variety around here. It has gotten very chilly out because the sun is just about to go down and the wind stopped. So that means Matt probably won't be able to cut much longer. As soon as I can get this dumped, I'll have to go back out there, and it's just taking a while.
Well guys, I reckon it's going to do it for today. It's done gotten pretty damn, so it's about 7:30. We got probably a little over 60 acres done, so we're a little over halfway through. As long as we don't have any problems, should be able to get all of this finished up tomorrow, I hope. So anyway, got Carter moved over here to this farm, drilling cover crops, but those 3 little farms right across the highway, skipped those because I didn't want him having to get on that busy road here in Jackson with that wide 20-foot drill. So I'm going to shut down the combine and hop on the drill, try and get those probably about 17-18 acres planted, and then I'm going to head on home and try and find me some supper. So anyway guys, I'll see you tomorrow after the frost melts off.